Hey everybody, Dr. Osborne here. Today I want to talk a little bit about baby formula because this is a very toxic substance when you really start looking at some of the brands that are out there. And this is critical because when you feed your kids, when you feed your children, if you're not breastfeeding and you have to rely on a formula, you don't want to start their life off, pumping them full of genetically modified garbage and sugar. That's not the way to create a foundational basis for a child's growth. So, let's talk about it. If we look at some of the more common ingredients found in, these are some of your very common over-the-counter formulations. You can see here I've just basically highlighted some of the ingredients that are no good. Corn maltodextrin as an example. This is genetically modified corn sugar. It's just a fancy way of saying it, using the word maltodextrin. So obviously the number one ingredient in that particular formula is corn sugar. And then if you come down just a little bit further, the fourth ingredient is also sugar. So number 1 and number 4, remember ingredients on labels are listed in order of greatest to least. So the number 1 ingredient is sugar from corn, genetically modified. The number 4 ingredient is another sugar. And then you have these other ingredients like whey protein hydrolysate. What does that mean? That means it's a whey protein from a dairy cow, probably pumped full of hormones and incorrectly fed and not properly treated. And then we've taken that and we've denatured that milk protein so that it's really not all that valuable anymore. It's basically it's sustenance, but it's not healthy sustenance. And then you've got oleic safflower oil, which wouldn't be a problem, except we don't know based on this label whether or not that's cold pressed or expeller pressed oil. So, the problem with a lot of these highly refined oils is they're superheated. They're superheated and it damages them and it denatures them. And again, if you're pumping denatured and overheated oil into your child, this is what increases the risk for vascular inflammation and heart disease. This is why all the research out there on refined oils says avoid them at all costs. But here we are in a baby food, right? Giving babies their first degree of nourishment with highly refined oil, including you've got other oils here, soy oil, coconut oil. Again, most commonly genetically modified coming from the soy oil. Although coconut oil can be a good thing, it depends on the source, so that can be a questionable issue. So these are some of the ingredients on one of the most popular formulas used in the US, and this is another label from another very popular formula. You can see number 1 ingredient, 54% of this product that this baby is going to eat is corn sugar, corn syrup solids. That's what that means. Then the other, so we look at the next part of this, vegetable oil is the other 26%. So again, we know that highly refined oils aren't good for us. So 80% of this formula is highly refined oil and sugar. And again, going back to what are we actually trying to accomplish with our kids? We're trying to give them a solid foundation for nutrition. And these formulas, in my opinion, are a travesty for kids. So what about organic baby formulas? Are they any better? They're questionable. This is a particular brand that has number 1 ingredient, organic brown rice syrup. Now, brown rice syrup is sugar. Doesn't matter that it comes from brown rice or that it comes from corn or that it comes from sugarcane or beet or any other source. Feeding your baby sugar is not a good idea when you're trying to establish solid nutrition in their early life. Then we also have one of the problems in a lot of these organic formulas because they're rice-based. Rice contains arsenic. That's part of the problem, is that many of these rice formulations have been measured, they've been tested to contain high levels or high percentage of concentrations of arsenic, as this study is demonstrating. So again, it's we got to argue, are organic formulas any better? In the vast majority of cases, no, they're not. So, what do we want to do then? Like, what are we supposed to do? Beware of these toxic ingredients. Number 1, the sugars, the corn syrups, the maltodextrins, the casein hydrolysate. If you see this word hydrolysate, what that basically means is that it's highly refined and highly heated protein, and it's denatured, and it's not very good for your child. High oleic or any other oils, so soy oil, oleic oil, if these are highly refined and highly heated, not a good idea for your baby. And then ingredient gums like xanthan gum, which is a derivative of genetically modified corn, also not a good ingredient. So look out for those terms. If you see them, probably not the best idea for your child. So what do you do if breastfeeding is not an option for you? This is not Dr. Osborne saying that any woman who can't breastfeed is a horrible mom and a horrible person. I don't want you to walk away thinking that, because some women don't produce enough breast milk. Some women have other health issues that it prevents them from doing it. So instead of going and buying those very expensive formulas, remember the formula industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but basically what they're doing is poisoning your children. Look for, instead, donor milk. You can go to a milk bank and you can find donor milk. It's a much better option. It's real milk coming from real people, and that's what real babies need, not formula. Or you can look at homemade formula options. Now, there are a number of different options out there. One of the best and tried and true options comes from the Weston Price Foundation. So if you want to go check out the Weston Price Foundation online, it's, I believe, westonpricefoundation.org. You can go check them out and just search in their site, search homemade baby formula, and you'll get some different options, and you'll get some additional learning on this topic, because again, as parents, you're just trying to do what's best for your child, and keeping your child fed is a very, very important thing, but what you feed that baby matters. Remember, you are what you eat. So if you feed your child sugar and highly processed vegetable oils for the first several years of their life, what kind of foundation are you really going to establish for them in their health long term? So just think about that, because the first act of parenting is to get an education and to get knowledge so that you can protect that child. So this is Dr. Osborne. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, for more information, more education. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.